was nice. Do that again. Call this meeting to order, the Topsham Select Board. It is February 5th, 2026, and we're in the Donald A. Russell Meeting Room. If you please rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Patty, you call the roll, please.
I will. Roland Tufts.
Here.
Ann Callahan.
Here.
Ryan Holmes.
Present.
David Kenny.
Here.
Mike Labby.
He's present.
100% all present.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next up, Town Manager's Report.
Welcome to budget season. You either maybe have already picked up the books that are in your mailbox upstairs, and for Finance Committee, they're also upstairs for Finance Committee to pick up. And then next week on Monday through Wednesday evening, starting at 6 o'clock, we'll have department presentations in this very room. If people would like to watch online, either through Zoom or YouTube, that's also be possible next week. And if you'd like to, if you're a citizen and would like to see the draft budget, if you click on the select board meeting information for Monday night, it's got the budget uploaded to that as meeting materials. Thank you to the Public Works Department, who've been working long hours plowing our storms and then cleaning up the snow from the recent storms. You may recall the one we had about 10 days ago that was about, seemed like 16 inches of snow, and then they've already got an awful lot of the sidewalks so you can still see them and the sun's hitting them and they're getting easy to walk on. Please remember not to plow snow into or across the public right-of-way. The Energy Committee will be hosting an informational presentation on battery energy storage. It's going to be on February 25th, both in this room and on Zoom. And it's going to have a gentleman named Kurt Mayland, who is at the Vermont Law and Graduate School Energy Clinic, who is an expert on battery storage, who's helping us work on our proposed ordinance for the facility that we're talking about, trying to maybe enable near Bisson Farm. And Andrew Carl of Revision Energy is also going to be present, and he can talk about battery storage on the residential level. So for instance, if you had battery storage, you might not need a generator or something for these short power outages. So come that evening and hear more information. So the town administrative offices will be closed on Monday, February 16th for President's Day. And that's my report.
Great. Any questions? So, good. That's item board and committee reports and updates. We have none tonight. Any public comment? Nothing. Okay.
No,
Oh, excuse me. Hi.
Ruth Lyons, Town of Topsham, and good evening. Good evening, everyone. Nice to see the board. And I'm here tonight not to criticize, just to make comments before you really go into your budget stuff. For instance, sometimes we do a lot of studies to the tune of $20,000, $50,000. Maybe some of those are needed, but when 2 or 3 years ago, Mount Ararat School Board in their budget had $100,000 in a study to see what they were doing right or what they're doing wrong. Well, my opinion on that is they should know what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong. They shouldn't have to pay $100,000 to do that kind of study. And I think we have to be diligent when people bring studies or recommends before us. And a lot of times they are needed, but that's one thing I want to say. And of course, I encourage the budget because we have a lot of people that really are having a hard time, and you folks know that, you know a lot of them yourself. For instance, young people can't buy a home, they can't even get into a 1-bedroom rent because it's so expensive. But also we have our seniors, and our seniors would like to stay in their homes. But with taxes keep going up, and the biggest part is property tax, but there's other taxes included. It just is getting so expensive for many people. And a lot of it is young couples. It's not just seniors. It's not our elderly. We have a lot of young people that's really working hard and they're making pretty good money, but they cannot. So if we have monies that we can fund, or grants that we can do, or TIF money, to me, I don't know what we'd have to go through, but I think we should be looking to spend money on that stuff. My other thing is, the owl is nice and the communication is nice, but for quite a while, the newspaper hasn't been printing any information about the town in the paper. A lot of people, 30% of the people in this town do not know how to use a computer or how to use YouTube or how to use their phone properly so they can get these meetings. So they feel really excluded. And even though I'm not on the board anymore, I do get calls, which I'm gonna pass all back to you guys. But I just wanted to say those few things, and I know we try to communicate through emails and through the and we try our best, but a lot of people don't know how to use those things. And 30% isn't a lot, but it's a percentage, so that's what I came to say. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
I'll give props, Ruth, to the gentleman that just walked in.
I know, I heard it.
Mr. Blykamp is probably, because you're right, the newspapers unfortunately aren't covering things like they did, but Mr. Blykamp's wonderful about coming to all our meetings and usually has some blurbs on the Friday morning afterwards, so thank you for your community service.
Yes, he does, but I'd like to see more on the town of Topsham. I see Brunswick, I see Portland, I see a lot in Bath, but I don't see hardly anything anymore on the town of Topsham. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, correspondence, anyone? None? Adjustments to the agenda, none tonight. Next up, consent calendar. Everything okay? Okay. Approval of the minutes of the regular select board meeting held on January 15th, 2026. Do I have a motion?
Make motion, have it.
A motion,
Second.
moved and seconded, all in favor? Thank you. Public hearing none, unfinished business. Item 2605, consideration any appropriate action on an appointment to the planning board to complete an unexpired term until June 30th, 2027.
We had the pleasure over the last few weeks interviewing multiple candidates for the planning board. That started with our last meeting on January 15th. Previous to that, we weren't able to complete all the interviews until this evening, but we have now completed the interviews and had a chance to discuss and deliberate the candidates in their entirety. All of the candidates were very strong candidates. It really did make it hard for us to make a decision, although we did ultimately decide on a candidate. And at this point, we would like to nominate Marilyn Hunter to the planning board.
I second that motion.
Okay. So the motion is basically to appoint Marilyn Hunter to the unexpired term until June 30th, 2027.
Correct.
Okay,
I should have said.
moved and seconded. Okay, all in favor? Thank you. On to new business, 260508. Consideration of any appropriate action on the appointment of Vicky Bode to the Finance Committee and Susan Markey to the Topsham Housing Authority as tenant representative.
We interviewed both candidates today for that. There was only one candidate for each position. So at that, I would like to make a motion to appoint Vicky Bode to the Finance Committee and Susan Markey to the Topsham Housing Authority as the tenant representative.
The motion,
Say it awesome.
seconded by Dave. All in favor of the motion? Motion carries. Thank you. 2609, consideration of any appropriate action on posting weight restrictions on roads from March 16th, 2026 to April 24th, 2026, or sooner if conditions allowed.
I'm Public Works Director. Before I get started, with me tonight is our new Deputy Director of Public Works. I'd like to introduce to the select board, Josh Dennison. Josh.
Hey, Josh.
Welcome.
Welcome aboard.
No, I'm just happy to be here, happy to help out how I can.
Maybe Josh, just say a few words about yourself, your history.
Sure.
I'd like to hear that.
Sure. Yep, I'm Josh, I grew up in the area down in Hartsville, went to Mount Arad, was away for 15 years or so, and happy to be back home and help the community out again.
Great, welcome
We're
aboard.
excited to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah, someone. Thanks, Jeff. We're here tonight on our annual road posting request to the select board for their approval. It's following the code and the code book in regards to weight restrictions. As the frost goes out of the ground, the road base starts to soften up, and we're trying to restrict the heavy loads on our roads and protect the integrity of those roads. There's a list in front of you, 2, 4, 6, 8, roughly 8 roads that we're proposing. There is a permit system in place so that the people can still use those roads under certain conditions. First thing in the morning when they're usually frozen and dry, if they would prefer, rather than later in the day when the sun's up and warm. We're looking at the date of March 16th to put this in place, but that's a moving target depending on what Mother Nature brings us for the next few weeks. Yeah, any questions?
Is there any date that you want us to put on the motion, or just do you want to leave it open? March 16th, okay?
March 16th or sooner if conditions allow, or conditions required for it.
Oh, I read that as the ending of April 24th, taking them down, or taking them down sooner if the conditions allow.
Either way.
Either way, it doesn't matter, okay.
I honestly think we'll probably be posting it for the 16th of March with the way it's looking. And we're
Okay.
looking at 30s again next week, so I think things are gonna start to soften up a little bit earlier than planned right now. But that, again, it's a moving target. I don't know for sure right now.
We can be optimistic, right?
He's kind of like the groundhog.
Yeah.
He just predicted less winter.
Whoops. I'm gonna regret that one.
Are you ready for a motion?
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, are you ready for a motion?
We are.
I'd like to make a motion to post weight restrictions on roads from March 16th, 2026 to April 2024, 26, or sooner if conditions allowed on the following roads: Winter Street / River Road from Main Street to White House Crossing Road, White House Crossing Road, Tappan's Road, Tedford Road, Meadow Cross Road, Ward Road, West Merrill Road, and Forside Road from Townsend Way to Middlesex Road.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, 2610, consideration of any appropriate action to allow the town to round, we're gonna table.
Or you can introduce it, then I'll address it.
Okay, all right, so consideration of any appropriate action to allow the town to round each transaction to the next nickel increment once the town can no longer accept offer change to cash transaction in pennies.
So, what happened is with the federal government not doing pennies, we have to figure out what we're gonna do when we run out of them. Believe it or not, it's a lot harder thing than you think. So we had our plan that was proposed in your packet, but Maine Municipal sent some advice that Kathy got 2 days ago that makes it look like we may have issues. Either, we certainly can't charge less for some of the things, and we may have issues if we charge more. So one of the proposals, or we're thinking of, is telling people that certainly you can pay with your check, you can pay with charge, or however. But and you pay with exact cash, but if it's more, asking them, would you be willing to make a donation to the town for 3 cents or whatever the amount is? We've now got this in the hands of the town attorney to see what they're suggesting for other towns. And we expect to hear something back in the near future. So my recommendation for tonight is to table it.
I make a motion to table this agenda item 2610 until next meeting.
Okay,
I can second that.
okay, and then seconded by, excuse me, seconded by Dave, all in favor? Thank you. All right, next item up, 2611, consideration of any appropriate action to allow the fire chief authority to sell or donate the old SCBA's.
Interim Fire Chief St. Pierre is going to address this.
Hi there. So we just took in possession our new SCBA packs to finish off the bottle purchase that we did a couple years ago in our packs. So we've been left over with about 30 air packs. 50 of them are in a fair condition with a working heads-up display. It's the piece that goes on your mask. And then we've got about 15 more that are in poor condition with bad straps, leaking regulators, non-working heads-up displays. So as of right now, we it would cost us about $1,800 to flow test these. To get them back into a working order ready to put oxygen or air back through them again. And we got some quotes for resale values on these packs to see about selling them versus see if we can donate them to smaller departments. And that's with an active flow test. The ones that do have working displays, we might be able to get $650 to $850 for them. The ones without working displays, maybe $200 for them. So our recommendation is, we don't feel like it's fiscally responsible to do the flow testing before selling them. So all of these are kind of an unknown pack, whether or not they would pass anyway. The last time we did it, we ended up having to do quite a few repairs just to keep them in service. So we would like to, with the board's permission, be able to donate them to smaller departments or educational institutions who don't have the ability to purchase new air packs. These ones are currently 16 years old. And then they can assume the cost of flow testing and any minor repairs, but it will keep them from having to buy brand new. We would like to be able to donate if possible.
My only concern is liability. We have any type of documentation that would accompany that donation or
We could
whatever
do
that says
something
that we're not.
These are
We could do
added,
something
admins
else.
and just
Yeah.
make sure that we're not
not liable.
on the
for
hook
anything.
for something
It
that,
will make it very clear that they are not.
yeah, I would just
Flow
want that to
tested,
be
but there's
we can
no
do that.
guarantee.
absolutely stipulated through there.
And no guarantee.
Right.
Of working order also, just they may purchase something or get something and pay for the flow testing.
Yeah.
Just to find out that it's not.
Exactly. So they're taking on that risk. However, it's still cheaper than buying a brand new.
Absolutely.
So,
As long as we're not on the hook for it.
yeah, so if we could do a kind of as is, whereas type of donation to any kind of smaller educational, we'd love to be able to do that as for a department.
And you have stations that have expressed an interest already.
Wales, I know kids already expressed interest in several.
Is there, I don't even know if it exists, but is there any programming at vocational region 10 or adult education that could use any of these?
That's what we'd reach out to Vote 10 because we are doing career day with them usually once a year anyway, trying to talk to them about the SMCC programs. And I believe, I'm not sure if they still have their Fire 1 and 2 program going as of this year or not, but we would offer vocational programs.
I'm in favor of donating to schools and programs for
Yeah.
the future.
Yeah, we'd love to, any kind of schools or programs that have something that they need this for, plus maybe they're very small departments that just can't provide new safer equipment.
Great.
We're
I'm ready for a motion. Yes. I would make a motion to allow the fire chief authority to sell or donate the old CBAs.
Motion and a second. Give me a second. All in favor? Thank you. Thank you.
Who said,
Okay,
I did.
Dave, second.
okay. All right, 2612, consideration of any appropriate action on allowing the installation and annual placement, excuse me, of banners honoring Topsham's veterans.
Hi, good evening, Jeff Emerson, Assistant Town Manager. I'm just here to introduce, I had the privilege of meeting, Mr. David St. Pierre, a Topsham resident and a United States Marine Corps veteran. And listen to his proposal that he's about to share with you, and I don't want to steal his thunder, so I'm gonna introduce Mr. St. Pierre.
Evening, gentlemen. I'd like to thank you very much for having me down here this evening. My name is Dave St. Pierre. I live in Topsham. I represent the post 202 in Topsham. And I grew up in Topsham on Bridge Street. You know where the bridge is, the little walking bridge? You know what that is? That's my bridge. Anyway, I'd like to talk to you about why I'm doing this, what brought me to do this, if you don't mind, you know. Veterans don't usually get, noticed too much in this country. Memorial Day, Veterans Day. If your family gives you a barbecue, that's great. And sometimes somebody comes up to you and says, thank you for your service, that's great too. But there's gotta be more than that, there's gotta be a little more than that. So, of course, I go to Togas quite a bit, if I want to. And I walk in there one day, there's about 35 guys in there, veterans in there. And you can tell by looking at them, they were from different conflicts, And the guy walking around there with a cowboy hat, long hair, beard. He had a vest on, it said Maine on the back. And he walked around with a walking stick. Well, we know that's a veteran, Vietnam veteran, but he is. The other guys were walking, they with no legs. One had no arms and wheelchair, and they can't take care of themselves. And I said, then I started thinking, I'm gonna be pretty happy that I'm not that way. But I had to find something to do. So I went for breakfast down to Booth Bay at the American Legion. And as I drove to Booth Bay, I see all the banners up there. And I said, gee, they must be having some type of a eye or something, or all these banners up. Then I looked, hey, those are veterans on those, And I said, that's what I want to do. That's why I'm here tonight. What I want to do is honor all the adopted veterans, and what I'd like to do with these guys is take a picture of every one of them and put their picture on the poster, and then take that poster and put it on a Central Bank power pole someplace in Topsham, okay? As you can see, a lot of people think that the banners are cheap and the wind will break them down. Well, as you can see, it's not cheap. It's good stuff. And this one has been up at the Southport for a year, been up there. And as you can see, it's not even tarnished, not even, still in good shape. But what we're gonna do is that if we'll have our own, Tops will have its own banner. It's gonna say Tops up here, Tops salutes, and all the information you'll have, I'll give it to you later on. But problem is that I always have there's always something going on that I can't figure out. Number one, who's gonna put these up? Can't do it. And I start looking around for somebody to do it. So as yesterday, weeks ago, you say you gotta call this guy named Pat Voigt, is it Voigt?
Patrick Voigt.
Voigt. And so I did. He worked for Central Maine Power. And he says, oh yeah, he said, I know who you are. I said, well, I told him my problem. He said, yeah, well, he said, I do that. He said, I put all the other banners up at Booth Bay Harbor up, and I put the ones up at Sanford up. He said, well, I'd like to put yours up. He says, I wanna do it because I know it's gonna be done right. And I've seen this guy's work in Booth Bay, and believe me, it's done right, The banners are 14 feet off the ground. And that way no car, truck can hit them, not even tractor trailers can hit them. And they're taken down every for the snowfly, they take them down, That's why I got this one, so I can show you gentlemen. Now this is not gonna cost the town no money. The people that are gonna take this is gonna be the veteran that wants to put his name on the banner. Expensive? Well, we think it is. The banner here will go for $145. And the how you call them, the hardware for that will cost $70. So you gotta figure $200, if a veteran wants to have his face put on one of these, okay? Now, you don't have to be a veteran to do that. Your mother, father can do it, your son can do it, your brother can do it, anybody can do it. And the only people that can do this is the veterans, like 202 in Topsham, and all the veterans in Topsham. So the only ones that can do this. Plus, we have funded widows that they also can, if they want to put their husband on one of these, they can do so. Okay. Like the veteran wants a banner, what he has to do is he'll have to make a check out for $200, and he should make this out to American Legion Post 202, Topsham, Maine. And he has to have a picture of himself way back when. And in the back of the picture, he should put his name, his rank, his time of service, and the branch the military he was in. Okay. Then you put that in an envelope and mail it to us, at the Topsham Legion, if he wants to. And that's at 47, 74,
No, 79.
79 Forsyth Road in Topsham. and we'll take care of it, you know? I don't know how long it's gonna take for this thing to get going. Usually we send these things up to Pennsylvania to have them done. And I don't know how long it's gonna take, once I send them the pictures, how long it's gonna take before I get them. All I know is that they're gonna send me a model of what it's gonna look like, and then they'll ask me for the money for the pictures that I sent in. So it's very simple. That's about it. I just thought that there would be something that I would like to do. I think the veterans really should be honored by doing this. I think we can get a nice smile out of it. And plus the people on top of it will know who the veterans are. So thank you very much, and we wait for your decision.
I have two questions for you.
Certainly.
One of them is, I'm assuming that this is both for living and deceased veterans,
Correct.
is that correct?
Correct.
And then my second question is, how are you going to notify people that this program is available? How will you solicit veterans?
It'll go on. You go online, one thing, and word of mouth. I mean,
Word of mouth.
it's the town that had this made up, this thing went overboard. For example, Blue Bay Harbor had theirs removed 3 months ago. You know how many of those banners they took down? 670 banners. Now, they ran out of telephone poles. That's a lot of banners, you know? But we don't expect to have that much, but we expect to have good feedback. And, we have people, we have kids, high school students that want to go on and help us do this, so.
So I just want to clarify, what we're voting on tonight is that the staff would come up with a plan, is that correct? Or is it just strictly from the American?
I'll let,
Oh, Jeff, you can start.
Real quick, sir. I need the microphone.
Yeah,
Yeah, the idea is that, if the select board approved this, we would meet with Mr. St. Pierre again and develop a program and bring it back here, an actual document, memorandum of understanding that of how this goes down, or how this works out. And that would have to come back to the select board for your approval as well.
Okay, I did have one other question. Is it possible, and I don't know if it is or not, for us to send a letter confidentially to anyone who holds a veterans plate here in town?
probably not,
Probably not,
because that's the state database stuff.
maybe just a sign in the foyer that says if you're a veteran.
Well, I think we could get the word out pretty
You
easily.
think so?
We got a nice sign out front that we can.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I know somebody that too.
Who knows?
I also think I think Mr. St. Pierre is right. If you've been to any of these locations, driving by, seeing that, I think, people are gonna say, how do I do that?
Okay,
Correct.
Council question, did you get an email from Mr. Ward about the meeting between Second and Prophet and here?
Not yet, but we can make that part of this after the meeting.
All right.
Okay.
One questions.
I do have one question too.
Yeah.
First of all, wonderful idea. Thank you so much for bringing it to us. I think all of us are in alignment with the idea of celebrating our veterans, and you're right, we should be doing more for them. So this is a fantastic idea. The question I have, will this require an annual approval, or are we willing to approve this just to happen that it's gonna always go up at a certain time, down at a certain time?
I would envision the agreement would basically be, it would continue until one side or the other didn't want to do it anymore.
Okay,
So,
I was told that the Center Maine Power and the town here have to get together and get the permission to put these.
we know
things up.
Mr. Voigt, so this Mr. Patrick Voigt is what's called a key account representative at Central Maine Power. And he reaches out to us periodically. We've hosted things for help people work on their power bills. We called him, he helped us with some trees we needed to take down on Elm Street, and so we have a good relationship with him, and there'll be no problem having the meeting.
Good to know.
yeah.
I also would imagine that if you talked about some of the people that are really sacrificed for our country, you ran into at Togus. If someone maybe doesn't have a veteran in their family, but they wanted to sponsor so that the Legion could help get someone up that.
As long as he lives in, veteran from Topsom.
No, but I mean, if, so let's say I don't know someone, but I just wanna help sponsor someone, I
Oh, sure.
imagine I
Yes, you
should send
can.
you a check and you would
Yes,
know.
you can, yeah, no
Good
problem.
idea, good suggestion.
So we could help advertise that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can put it on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
I'm Dawn, I'm the
I'm
adjutant,
sorry.
it's 202.
That's all, thank you, Donna.
Yes,
Yeah.
but we can put it on our Facebook page, and I know we have a lot of veterans at the post that are wanting to do it. And that in itself would get information out.
Okay.
Right.
But once the demand starts showing up on the street, it's gonna go crazy, I hope.
So what are we looking for as far as a motion to? You have it, you're all set?
Yeah,
Okay.
good. Ready? I make a motion to allow Topsom veteran David St. Pierre to proceed with staff guidance on a program that honors Topsom veterans by installing and maintaining veterans banners at locations approved by the town.
Second,
Second,
moved and seconded, all in favor? Great. Thanks. Congratulations.
Thank you for doing this.
now you can sit down.
Great bench.
Last item, 2613, consideration of any appropriate action to authorize the town manager to work with Floor Systems Inc. on replacement of tile flooring at the public safety building. There you go.
Good evening again, Jeff Emerson, Assistant Town Manager. The building that we're in and the building next door, built in around 2007, they're approaching the 20-year mark. They're starting to show a little bit of wear. They're both buildings are in very good condition. However, some of the things we're prioritizing with, well, one of the things is the flooring, and specifically the VCT tile of the public safety building. We're fortunate in this building, the VCT tile in this building is low traffic downstairs, and upstairs is a different type of floor that seems to be holding up really well. The tile next door to the public safety building just isn't holding up. It needs to be addressed. What we've done is we've prioritized the fire department side, seems to be in worse condition than the police side. So we've worked on a phased approach that would do the fire department side this year, and hopefully the police department side, if everything goes well with this, next year. And it's gonna be to replace the VCT tile with a lower or higher impact, lower maintenance quartz tile that's a little bit larger. That was at the recommendation of the flooring company. And when we went out, when we get quotes last year for this, it ended up not working out budget wise, so we put it off for this year. But when we did get quotes for this, the company that, one of the only companies actually that responded was this company out of Lisbon. Worked very well with us. The towns had worked on by them before, and has been happy with the results. They spent a lot of time with us, gave us an estimate, and when I called them recently, they were able to update that, which is in your packet. So the item that you'll be looking at tonight is the public safety building fire department side to allow us to proceed to work with Floor Systems.
And we have, in our capital budget, we had 75,000 this year for capital maintenance. So we consider this to be capital maintenance by helping the buildings by fixing the floor.
And the figure in question is $60,553.43, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. That's what's on your motion. If you look at the floor system proposal, you'll see the final balance a little bit more than that, but you'll also see that includes tax.
And the preferred flooring is the vinyl composition tile, is that correct? The VCT?
No, the quartz.
Oh, the quartz.
Quartz.
Okay.
So the difference, just, I was educated, the VCT tile is the one that has to be maintained in wax.
Okay,
And the protective layer is the finishing layer. And
okay,
if you don't have somebody constantly on that, protecting that finishing layer, then the floor gets damaged.
okay,
The tile, the whole thing is the protection.
sounds good.
So we can save money on wax.
It will save money on a lot.
Okay, ready for a motion?
Sure. I make a motion to authorize the town manager to contract with Floor Systems of Maine Incorporated to replace the vinyl flooring in the fire department for the sum of $60,553.43.
Great, second. Here first. All right,
What's the
seconded by Mike.
Meeting.
Okay, all in favor? Great. Thank you. All right, we're now going into executive session.
We have to.
And make a
Oh, I'm
motion
sorry,
to
I thought
go
we-
into executive session.
I did it in my head, sorry. Okay. On favor. Good. Okay.